What's going on? What's happening, everybody? Hopefully everybody's doing okay. Welcome back to the NBA report on the Nothing But Knicks network. We got a little jam-packed show for you. We're about to go into the NBA All-Star weekend. I'm excited. I know you're probably excited out there. How you feeling, John?
Oh man, you know what it is. It's All-Star weekend. You gotta be ready for some really good basketball, some fun excitement. You know, you got the All-Star weekend where you have all of the three-point contests, the slam dunk contest. You got the skills challenge. You got the All-Star games. You know, you got to enjoy it. If you're a basketball fan, you got to enjoy this weekend for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%, man. I'm looking forward to it. I hope it turns out to be a good one. You know, some of these in recent times they're kind of on the dud side. So I'm hoping the festivities are pretty good. I don't know. Honestly, I'm looking forward more to like the skills competition and the 3-point competition. The dunk competition, like I don't know what they're gonna do to impress me, bro. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. I think I've seen it all.
At least from the NBA players. You know, I would like to see them sort of figure out a challenge where you have an NBA player against the best skilled dunkers in the world. You know what I mean? Like that would be a little bit more exciting because they have these dunk contest players. I wouldn't call them players, but they're contestants. They're sort of big on the highlights when it comes to dunking. They do a lot of the YouTubers that do dunking, and they go into like these tournaments where they win slam dunk contests, and those are unique dunks that you see coming out from those guys. They extreme hops. But like to put a young man who has hops, who's just coming into the NBA, who probably has a little bit of that in his bag, I would like to see them up against someone who's doing that on a regular, just to see how they match up.
I'm with you. That actually is a dope idea. I'm surprised they haven't tried to do that yet. That would be really cool because some of these professional dunkers are ridiculous, man.
It gets crazy. And they do it with ease.
Yes.
It's pretty much like every single one of them have their own skill set, and they all jump out the gym similar to Vince Carter when in his heyday. And everybody gets extreme hops. They have the ability to go behind the back through the legs, and add in a couple of 360s, 180s, and all of that. Which is exciting. I'm not sure what they're gonna do. I mean, I'm not into the theatrics really. When they come out with the capes and stuff, or they do a flip or two, that doesn't excite me. It's really the dunk itself,
Right.
So
yeah, I'm with you. That actually, that's like that's what we really want to see because back traditionally the old NBA dunk contest. I mean, with the high flyers like Dominique Wilkins and Jordan and those of that nature. Even like I want to say probably the last really really good dunk. No, that's a lie. Because I'm thinking, because I'm thinking Vince Carter was incredible. But you know what? Hats off to Zach LaVine and Gordon.
Those were good.
Those were really good competitions. Yeah. That's nice. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, man. I figure let's get into what we normally get into, y'all. I know y'all want to hear the rundown. Guess what? Not much has changed. So. The Chicago Bulls are atop the Eastern Conference, yet again, and they are atop at 38-21, right? You've got the Orlando. Oh, I can't even say that. Orlando Magic. The
Orlandos are a new expansion team that's coming.
Hopefully
we can offload all of our old Knicks players to the
Yeah, to the
Orlando.
Orlandos. They belong on the Orlandos, Joe, for real. The Orlando Magic are in the bottom spot once again, and they're at 13 and 47. And then our Knicks are still in 12th place, but they're getting worse, guys. They're 25 and 34. So listen, normally we like to talk about the Knicks when we get to the back page, and we probably still will talk about them for a little bit. But we can't go the rest of this show without addressing how poorly they've been playing right out the gate, man. Because what I've witnessed in the past week of basketball, especially these games where they've had big leads, 18 points, 20 points, 22 points, 28-point leads, and they have squandered them.
Yeah.
I don't I want to say I'm at a loss for words, but then what would this show be if I can't talk, right? But Tom, what do you understand what's happening in front of our eyes, bro?
It's super weird, right? Because they come out like gangbusters. They're playing well. They're moving the ball. They're doing everything that we asked of them this entire season to play with energy. They've done that this entire week. They still can't pull out wins. So it shows that the inconsistency is a lot more prevalent than than what we assumed as Knicks fans. What we were
Mhm.
assuming was that if they played with energy and if they committed to Tibbs's identity and his structure and his defensive mindset and strategy, that we would be in it to win it. We're in it, but we're losing it. We're
Yeah,
in the games and we're winning these games, and then we're losing these games. They're taking it right from underneath us, and it's sad, man. It's I don't no one knows how to explain this. Um, Even Tibbs can't explain it.
yeah. No, it just it's horrible. I don't even know, dude. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I just know that right now we're playing poor, poor basketball when it comes to closing out games. And you know, I've been saying it for the past couple days now, in chats and stuff on different shows, and I'm gonna say it verbally. For whatever reason, if I haven't said this already, we can't play two sides of the basketball at the same time. You get good defense from us, you get no offense. You get good offense, you get no defense. I don't know what is happening. It's crazy. All right,
Right.
whatever. Guys. It's gonna be it's a
It's not going to
long
be all
time.
right.
I don't know.
We know that.
No, it's not gonna
Not
be
going
all
to be all
right.
right.
No, it's
And
not.
and there's talks right now that there may be some shifts in the front office. Like they're already calling it out as there's a hot seat for Tibbs. So if he's on the hot seat and he comes off of this All-Star break and we continue to lose, who's to say Dolan doesn't make a move? You know what I mean? Just to save face.
Hot seat. This dude's on a 5 alarm fire, bro. It's a Bunsen burner. It's like I don't know I don't know what he's.
Hey,
It's crazy right now. Anyway,
it's
all right,
crazy.
guys. Well, let's start off with the Atlantic Division because I just want to get them out the way. I don't want to have to mention the Knicks until later in the show. Right now, atop the Atlantic Division, the Philadelphia 76ers are 34 and 23. Excuse me. And they've been playing kind of up and down basketball as of late. Like, they've been getting good games from Joel Embiid, but I'm starting to notice that they seem to be struggling with some of their other characters. Like and I'm only honestly, I ain't gonna lie to you, I'm only paying attention to this more because of like fantasy stuff, and I'm starting to see, like, I'm watching Philadelphia, and I'm like, they don't seem to be like as hot as they were before. They kind of not coasting because they're losing games too, but they're
Right.
just not. It's not clicking the way it was clicking before. So I don't know. What do you think about Philadelphia and how they've been playing?
Well, they got to figure it out, right? They lost two key pieces. I mean, one really key piece in Curry. So now playing without Curry is going to be interesting because now that's a person who they utilize to stretch the floor, stretch the defense out. So, you need someone to step in and fill that role. Drummond played off the bench role. I'm sure he was vital in a lot of their rebounding, and I don't necessarily know if he's really a stopper like that, but I would say offensive rebounds, defensive rebounds, you would see him. And of Of course, he can score inside paint. And it's a good transition player. So they just got to make up for the loss at this point. And you know, as of right now, you know, Harden hasn't touched the floor, so we don't really know what to expect from that team when Harden starts to play with them. They may look a little different, maybe they won't. I guess we have to wait and see. But
Mhm.
they're in the mix. I don't see them
Right.
falling out of the mix, so they're in contention.
Yeah, they'll be fine, I think. It's just, but you brought up a good point, man. Like, honestly, a lot of times when we talked about trades for Ben Simmons, we didn't really think about, okay, Ben Simmons and blah 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 is going with him. Just thinking about Ben Simmons and how much you got to give up for Ben Simmons. And part of me feels like, I don't know, dude. It's kind of tough to give up Seth Curry and Drummond because having Embiid out there is one thing. We know the superstar talent he has and what he can do for the organization, for the team. But then having Drummond to clean up all the boards that Embiid doesn't get, and to spell him when
And he
he's got
needs
to
a
get a
rest.
rest, it's huge. And then Seth Curry has been a really good role player for this team. And
Yeah.
and we saw it firsthand watching him on the Nets playing against the Knicks. Like, he can do some things, and it's like it's tough to lose that. And you still don't have the production from Harden because he's not playing yet. Yeah, so yeah, it's
Yeah.
a little transitional period right now.
Yeah. But I think they'll be all right. I mean, you know, they aren't going to fall so far off kilt where they're not going to, you know, be in the mix in the playoffs. Um, Still see them around 4, 5, 6 seed, you know, around there. Um, if they make it above that, I'll be surprised, especially
Mhm.
with other teams playing as well as they've been playing. So I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, bro. And then listen, the second team that has crept up in the Atlantic Division, and they have been smoking hot. They finally lost the game. They finally broke their little streak of winning 9 in a row. Is the Boston Celtics, who are at 34-26. But just look at that. I mean, look, they're 34-26, and they won 9 in a row. So they weren't playing good basketball, and that 9 in a row really shot them right back into the mix. They're back to what we expect from a Boston Celtics type team.
They were exactly where we were in the dungeon. You know what I mean? Like we were nowhere to be found. Both teams played similarly alike, where you were good on offense and didn't play good defense, and or vice versa. And for whatever reason, we didn't figure it out, and they figured it out. You know,
Right.
they were able to come together at the right time, figure out the right type of pace they like to play with, figure out what they want to do strategically, defensively, and then also with added measure, they just kept working, off of Tatum. And as you've seen, Tatum is he's showing up, man. I mean, he has really shown his game has sort of elevated to the next level, especially during this run.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's a little frustrating for the betting man in me now that gambling is legal in New York, and then, it's like a crapshoot. One night, okay, should I pick Tatum? Maybe. But then
Right,
you find out, no, tonight we're going to feature Jalen Brown. Like, I don't know. You can't figure out what they're going to do. But
right,
whatever. Anyway.
right. But he's been
um,
the guy since for this last
No,
stint.
yeah, he's
He's
been
been the
great.
guy.
He's been great. Yeah, yeah. There's been a lot of really good play this past week from a lot of the players around the NBA. And I wonder if I'm just thinking. I wonder like what's really triggered it these past 2 weeks, especially this past week. I wonder if it's because guys are like, you know what, let's go all out and give it all because we're going to get a break. Maybe that's
Hey,
what
let
it is.
also give credit to Adoka, who is their new
Oh, right.
coach, and he's been able to motivate them. I know there was a moment in time where he blasted them for not play not being able to play with energy for 4 quarters, and he held them accountable. Also, was the Schroeder move an important move for that team?
Mm, could be.
Because think about it, you remove Schroeder, you allow for other players to have more gain more minutes playing, and it seems like they have more cohesion. So
That's a good point.
could that
That's a
have
good
been
point.
a move that may help may have helped the team sort of figure things out without having to force anyone's hand, um, or not to force Udoka to try to play a player who doesn't really work within the scheme. I think
Hmm.
sort of that's what we've been asking for our Knicks team. With the release of Kemba. I mean, a
Right.
lot of folks are believing that moving Kemba from the team would allow for an opportunity for younger players to come in and step in and have an opportunity to play more minutes. But could have that been the case? I don't know. Uh, but it just seems like they made the right move at this point in time.
That's actually a good point. So hey, we talk about it a lot. Sometimes, addition by subtraction. Uh,
Hmm.
not everything is cookie cutter. Certain things, sometimes it's acquiring talent. Sometimes it's getting rid of some clutter so that other people can be a little bit more comfortable in their position. So maybe you're
Yeah,
right, bro.
yeah. I don't know.
Um, yeah, it could
It's
be.
just a
And
guess.
then no, no, but listen, that's not a bad guess, dude, because
Right.
that makes sense to me. I mean, look at the situation. They didn't get rid of anybody, but unfortunately for him, but fortunately for Garland,
Mhm.
Sexton being hurt for the season really opened up, space and
Right.
opportunity for Garland to kind of really take the mantle and take
But not
control
only
of the
that,
offense.
you think of Rubio. Rubio
Right.
also getting hurt because there were back-to-back injuries that
That's
allowed
true.
for Garland to take the reign. You know what I mean? So and
Right.
giving him the opportunities. And then when they went and grabbed Rondo, they made sure Rondo didn't automatically take those minutes from Garland. They kept those minutes to Garland for Garland and had Rondo play a secondary role. So
Right.
it's just smart coaching decisions, of course. At, and some, I guess, some of those what you would think of an injury as a bad thing, but it turned out as a positive for them.
Yeah, we might need a couple injuries on the Knicks. I didn't
I
mean
hate to
that,
say
guys.
that.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm done. All right. So then that brings us to the third team in the Atlantic Division, which is the Toronto Raptors, who are currently 32 and 25. They just recently won. They're not on the streak. They won one game, but they've been 8-2 over the last 10. They've been playing really good basketball as well. Another team that had an under 500 record and just decided to turn it on for whatever reason. They got hot, and then they've been playing really good basketball. It looks like, for not for nothing, it looks like all the teams in the Atlantic Division um, have started to play much better basketball. And then the Brooklyn Nets have been playing bad, but they had such a good lead on everybody that they're still 4 games over 500 and ahead of the Knicks. Oh,
Yeah,
oof.
and they're just going to get healthy and primed and ready to play after All-Star break. So
Yeah.
it's just
Yeah, that's another good point. And yeah, man, and just going back to Toronto, Toronto's just been playing really good basketball, and it's a nice mix of that young ish. They're a little older, but they're still young, veteran talent, and the young guys. They just got solid players with those. It's nice to see. To be honest, I envy them because they're another team that knows how to combine the mix of some veteran players and young talent and get them all playing on one accord. They're a team.
hmm
They play well together.
it's interesting because Van Fleet, when you look at the starting roster, and even coming off the bench, when you look at their roster, Van Fleet is probably their shortest player, right? Not necessarily the one, but he's sort of the only player on that team that doesn't really have length, but they have a bunch
Mhm.
of athletic, lengthy type players on that team.
Right.
So they can get up and down the court. They could defend the perimeter because they can extend out further because of their length, um, and they can contest shots. So being athletic the way they are, they can it'll help them to when it comes to team rebounding on the defensive end, also being able to get some putbacks on the offensive end because they have that height. So I mean, it's a well put together team, you know. And like you said, it's a nice mixture of veteran players that aren't like past their prime, They're more like
Right.
in their prime, and then the young players with some talent.
Yep.
But that was one of my sleeper teams, right? Toronto and Charlotte. So
Yeah. Yeah. You ain't lying. That's who you picked. So speaking of Charlotte, we go to the Southeast Division next, and then we'll come back to the Central. In the Southeast Division, the Miami Heat are 37-21. They are pretty much, same kind of thing with Philly. And it's funny because in the last 10, Philly was 6-4 in their last 10, and so is Miami. And it's wild that I didn't even have to know that to see that. I feel like Miami, even though they have a much better record because they got out to a really hot start, these last 10 games, it feels like they're losing certain games to certain teams where you wouldn't expect them to lose. It's kind of
right.
like they just kind of, maybe it's just like one of those things. It's like right before the All-Star break, teams are kind of just settling and kind of just
Mhm.
winding down a little bit for the break.
Right. Okay. And again, when you know what the interesting bit about this is that you have a half season already played. During this full half season, you end up finding knick-knack injuries for a lot of the players, right? And so some teams are resting guys, some teams are sort of taking it easy in order to make a big run at the back end of the season. I mean, you come off an All-Star break, you got another 20 plus games left. Um, and if you're going to be in the play-in, that's basically what that you're trying to finish out strong. Our Knicks did it last year, where we came into the
Hmm.
season and we were under five, or maybe just above 500. I don't remember, by All Star break, or we were close to maybe 2 games under, and then we made a run.
Right.
Um, I don't see that for our team this year because of the poor play and the lack of motivation by some of our players. But I think that for a team like Miami Heat, I could see them trying to figure it out as far as making sure people are healthy, their players are
Hmm.
healthy, and so they may not ask certain players to play a bunch of minutes or maybe take a few games off here and there in order to get them right. But this is a team, like you said, they came out and they were hot early. They got into a nice lead, and so they can coast towards the back end of this All Star break, or right before the All Star break, they could sort of coast and go into the second half of the season ready to go.
Right. I agree with you on that. And the funny thing also about the Heat, which is not actually, it makes sense. Like Hero has been out. Um,
And
Duncan was out for a
right.
little bit. He's back, Duncan Robinson. But they've got Bam back. They've had him for a while.
Hmm. Hmm.
Butler's been up and down, but he's been playing. And they've had Lowry in the last 5 or 6 games, recent games, and yet they've been 6-4. And I wonder if it's just like the acquisition of actually, because Lowry hasn't played a lot for them, of
Right.
having Lowry in these last couple games and then kind of getting acclimated to his style, or he getting acclimated to their style, with the combination of Hero not being there. Because I think Hero is a really big piece of this Miami Heat team now.
Yeah. No, absolutely. They play off of them in a lot of
Yeah.
situations. You have Butler and Bam, of course. They sort of their 1-2 punch, but when you have Hero on the court, that also, like I was stating earlier, with the 76ers losing Curry, you got someone who can stretch the floor like that. It allows for open lanes, for players like Butler, who that's what their game. That's where he wants to be. He wants to be able to have a lane to drive to. Bam also wants to have open space in the block. So, you have to have shooters around you. And Duncan Robinson and Hero a little bit different than Duncan because Hero can put the ball on the floor. So he's a little bit more versatile, but you have to play him. You have to play him, and you have to play him tight, especially when he's coming around picks, or and looking for that pick and pop. So
Yeah, I agree.
just another weapon.
Yeah, you're right. That brings us to the other team you had mentioned. That's the Charlotte Hornets, who are second in the Southeast Division with a 29-30 record.
Mhm.
So they're interesting too because they've struggled a lot. They've They've really struggled where they lost a bunch of games in a row. I don't know what the streak was. I don't know if it capped off at 6 or whatever. It was definitely 5 or 6. And then they started to win, but they haven't really been able to run off like consecutive wins too often. And it's evident by the last 10 games, they're 2-8 and they've lost their last 2. The team is, you know what, it could be just like, maybe this is where they're at. Like maybe what we saw early, they had a lot of confidence. They were young. They were exciting, you know, new look team with LaMelo doing all types of stuff and Bridges like really playing good basketball. And I think that's kind of calmed down. And also he's calmed down a little bit too. Bridges has calmed down with his game. Yeah. So
I you know, a lot of that has to do with being a young team. You're gonna have those ebb and flows of playing well and not playing well. But one thing you do get from that team is you get some excitement when they're on the court. You know what I mean? And they're gonna run the court. You know what I mean? They're not gonna go back to sort of playing a half court game. They're the type of team that's coached to run and gun. The key factor for them is whether they can defend the ball. If they can defend well, that will get them over the hump. And that's sort of their Achilles heel. They don't have consistency in their defense all the time. And so, you know, teams are sometimes going to outscore them, especially when they're not shooting the ball right well. And Bridges hasn't been in the last few games. So that's the biggest takeaway for me. But a team like that is it's going to be difficult to go up against because they're athletic, they're young, they have a lot of talent there, and they match up well with a lot of teams, especially when you talk about the way they're built. You know what I mean? They have a little bit of everything.
Right. Yeah, you're not lying, man. We already know the Knicks don't love matching up with them. They give us some issues.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah.
Big time.
And then that brings us to last but not least, the Atlanta Hawks, who are in third place in the Southeast Division with a 28-30 record. They are winners of their last 2 in a row, and they are 5-5 in their last 10. Atlanta is still a funky team, dude. I swear to you, I cannot believe how mediocre they are. I'll say that. They don't look anything like what we saw in the second half of last year's season. Right. And it's interesting because the Knicks have been going through so many problems and struggling, and Atlanta is, you know, kind of right there. Now, maybe they haven't lost in the fashion the way the Knicks have been losing lately, but they just like, they're definitely they're a weird team, bro.
I'll tell you, that's the team that I'm most afraid of, and not because I'm afraid to play them, but I'm afraid that they'll keep us in contention because of their poor play and just keep us right there in order to get right in the game. You know what I mean? Get into a playoff, and then we lose sight on, you know, possibly a lottery pick. And that's the part that scares me the most, because a team like that is super inconsistent. Again,
right.
They go as far as, you know, Trae Young can take them. You know what I mean? And, you know, there isn't much more to that team. There, you know, that entire offense is predicated around Trae Young. If you allow Trae Young to go off, you just, you know, you make sure the rest of the team, you know, it doesn't. You know what I mean? And you'll have a chance to win against them. Or vice versa. You let other players on the team beat you and you shut down Trae Young. So I don't know, man. That's the team that scares me the most, because we could potentially overtake that team, and then we're back in the conversation around, you know, a play-in. And I don't think, as Knicks fans, I wouldn't be happy with a play-in. And we get into the playoffs as a play-in right now, the way we've been playing, it almost makes no sense, because we'll go into it with a losing record.
Yeah, man, I'm with you 100%. I hate that idea for us, and that's a very an idea that is very prominent. You know, it can definitely happen. So I hope that
we're 2.5, right, away, or something like that, or 3 games now. I don't know where we're at, but
I'll tell you right now what we're at.
I think we were like 2.5 away.
We're 2.5.
See, that's the thing. And it's so close, because the Hawks.
Oh wait, hold on. Wait, the last team in the play-in is 10?
10, yeah.
Oh, okay. So sorry. That has changed. We really stink.
How
we
far are
are
we from the 10th spot?
we
Three and a
are
half. I'm seeing on the
boom
chat.
boom boom. Four games.
Four
Oh
games.
no, four 3.5. You're right. Nine
So
because it's yeah. Atlanta's 9.5 out. So we're 3.5 out now.
so three and a half. Still
Apologize.
something depending on the schedule, and we've had a tough schedule as of late, right? There's no denying that we played really top notch teams. And then we've played towards the back end. We've had the Blazers, which we should have won, and OKC. That again, we all think that we should have won that game as well. But we had a tough schedule coming into All Star break. Let's see what Atlanta's schedule will end up becoming after All Star break. Will they start seeing some heavy matchups because they could easily lose three in a row, and we could easily win, two games, and that puts us right there, in striking
Mm,
distance. So, like that's the thing. We don't necessarily know, but again, the Hawks are the team that I'm afraid that may push us into that play-in, and us not really being ready for that. Because
right.
I can
I
see
hear you.
Atlanta being willing participants in the tank just to get more talent.
I hear you. I mean, it's not far fetched. And thank you, Building Roots in the chat for giving us that information, that 3.5 out. Appreciate you. Yeah, because I tell you, when I look at Atlanta, I mean, from what I saw last year and what I see this year, starting to feel like, as much as it looked like they had a bunch of talent all over the place, this year, for whatever reason, that not all that talent has come to play.
Mhm.
I'll say it like that because I don't know how to really express it. Like, Trey's going to give you what he gives you, but some of the other guys haven't really stepped up and taken their games to the next level this year or
Right.
continued that success off of the second half of last year. Like, it's
Mhm.
it's been interesting to
And,
watch.
and Gallo's playing a lot of minutes over there. I don't know if it's due
Yeah,
to injury or if it's due to COVID, or I wouldn't say COVID, the health safety protocol. Sorry for saying that, but who who's to know? You know what I mean? Like
right.
I don't really tune into Hawks games like that, but I do notice that he is playing heavy minutes, and he's definitely been a part of that lineup. So that's
You're
different
right.
from what it was last year. Where he
This
was
is
sort
this
of
is true. It's interesting. It's interesting. Um, well, that brings us to the Central Division and our top team in the Eastern Conference. Once again, the Chicago Bulls, who are 38-21. I can't even hate on the Chicago Bulls because deep down as a Knicks fan, you have that inner thing that you just don't like the Bulls for whatever reason. It's not their fault. These players they weren't even around in the 90s, but that's it. They're still a part of it. Okay. You put that Bulls uniform on, I see red, literally. So,
hey. Every time someone talks about the Bulls, I hear the theme song to the open of there. I just hear it. It's ingrained in me.
listen, let's be honest here. Let's be honest. Come on. Come on, John. And I know you Knicks fans in the chat. That theme song is fire. Let's not front.
It
Like
is.
every time we heard it, we were like, yo, that's hot, B. Damn it, I hate that team.
You're right on that.
Yeah, anyway. Okay, whatever. All right. Anyway, Chicago is 38-21, and they have won 5 in a row. They've been playing great basketball. 7 and 3 in their last 10 games. And I'm gonna say that this is uh due to the fact that they've been playing really good team basketball, but they have been riding high off of the back of Mr. DeMar DeRozan. Listen, guys, I know this sucks. I know this makes us feel bad as Knicks fans. We really messed up when we didn't go after DeMar DeRozan. And DeMar DeRozan is telling not only us, but the league, don't second guess DeMar DeRozan. He is an NBA star. NBA superstar. Let me give him his due because the way he's balling and the numbers he's putting up, John. Let me tell you, bro. In the last 10 games, this man is averaging 36 points.
Yeah,
Cooking.
he should be in a conversation for MVP, which is interesting because everybody already, they included MB because he had a couple of 50 or 40-point games, in a
Mhm.
row, and he also, is deserving of that, conversation as well. But I'm surprised that DeMar isn't talked about more
Hmm.
because he's a
Hmm.
player who's sort of who has been short sighted this year, and I think this may be his best year ever in any uniform. To be honest with you, like consistently.
I think you're right, bro. He is really coming into his own. Like his game is clicking. He's comfortable. It's like certain NBA players, when they're in the zone, they go out there and it's like
Hmm.
they're the only ones on the court. That's how I feel when I watch DeMar DeRozan.
And I think partly to do because this was his decision. He wasn't forced out by any team. He wasn't picked up by any team. You know what I mean? He wasn't a part of trade talk. This was his decision to go there, his decision to play with the players that he's playing with, to be honest, because I think the knuckleheads had him on and he talked about, having conversations with Vucevic, trying to make it, a play to trying to make a play to play with each other prior to him going being traded to the Bulls. Um,
Right.
and it just happened to be that they had an opportunity happen open spot, and they didn't move on from Levine, and they added Vucevic, and so it sort of made sense. So I still all along, even regardless of whether the Knicks would have should have had those conversations. Of course they should have. I think he would have chosen to be where he's at today, and he's showing that his comfortability is coming because this is something he chose.
Which that's a really good point, John. I didn't think about that at all. Actually, the fact that he hasn't had much of a choice in the past
Yeah.
years as to what he wants to do, where he wants to play. It's been decided for him. So that's a really good point. Good
This
point.
was his year. This was his year, right? This was his year off of a contract because he had an
Right.
extension that played into when he got moved to the Spurs, right? Because his extension was with the Raptors. And
Right.
he expected to end his career with the Raptors. And instead,
Right.
they traded him off to the Spurs for Kawhi. And the Spurs kept him around. And then, he was up for, he became a free agent and he tested the market. And hey, man, he's showing improving. For all those teams who wanted him, though, of course they should have, showed them a bag or two. You know what I mean? And I don't think a lot of teams undersold for him. Like they weren't trying to give him, extended, extended years.
Hmm.
And the Bulls were willing to tuck that offer up. Um, and they're reaping the benefits. But they also did a very smart move because they also added Lonzo Ball to that mix, regardless of how they got there. You know what I mean? They were able to finagle that situation in order to get themselves a young point guard who can play off the ball and can distribute and play good defense, and that's what they needed to round out their starting five.
They basically have three and a half go-to guys in their starting lineup.
Mhm.
You can't fault that. I'm saying a half is for Lonzo because anywhere Lonzo has been, he hasn't really been the go-to guy. When he came in with the Lakers, yeah, they gave him the Magic Johnson comparisons and all that, but at that time, his game really wasn't where it needed to be.
Need to be.
It's gotten a lot better, but he still has never been that go-to guy. So I'm going to give him the half. But we know DeRozan's been the go-to guy, Vucevic has been the go-to guy, and Zach LaVine has been the go-to guy. So that's a nice
This is
mix.
an interesting one because where would they have been if their young rookie stud didn't get injured playing against our Knicks?
Yeah,
Because he
Patrick
ended up becoming
Williams. I don't know.
Patrick
Good point.
Williams was out. Is out for the season, right?
Right.
So, and that kid was showing stuff like early on. It was the first maybe 10 or 20 games, and he was showing us a little bit of something. Like he was going to be in contention to win Rookie of the Year, or at least early on.
Yeah,
He
very
had
early. Right.
very early on. And then it's unfortunate because who would have imagined? Like, can you imagine him on this team being a vibrant young man who can get up the floor with that team? You know what I mean? Run and gun, rebound the way he was doing early on, and he was
And he
scoring
can
the
stretch the
bucket,
floor. And he can stretch the
shoot.
floor. How do you deal with Lonzo at point guard, Levine at shooting guard, DeRozan at the three, Patrick Williams who can stretch the floor and does all that stuff at the four, and then you
That's
got
what I'm saying.
Vucevic who can stretch it. Like that is a tough matchup, man. Tough.
That's why it's unfortunate for that team. It's unfortunate that they lost them for the season because they had to figure that portion out, and they've done a great job doing that. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
next man mentality. Next guy stepped up, and they're playing well. But Patrick Williams, man, I don't know. He was surprising me early, and hopefully he doesn't lose much of a step when he gets back.
Yeah, I agree. I don't want anybody out there who's an NBA fan of the Chicago Bulls to say we didn't show them love. We've been showing them a lot of love this episode.
Yeah, I gotta leave him alone. That's enough.
So that brings us to the second team in the Central Division, which is the Milwaukee Bucks. Milwaukee's 36-23. They're winners of their 6 out of 4 in their last 10. And they've been kind of it goes back to that same thing that I've been talking about. When you watch these teams that are good, but they're just having little hiccups right now. Philadelphia, Miami, and Milwaukee. Milwaukee has been because of the fact that Giannis has missed a couple games. He's back, but he was out maybe 1 or 2 games during this 10-game stretch. Then you had a couple other people are still not back. They're out. And these are not big pieces, but they're pieces that make up their team. And of course, they still don't have Brook. So
and I don't think Brook is coming back, right? He may be out.
Yeah, I don't know.
He may not come back this season because they were looking to, they made a move, right, to get a big Milwaukee. I thought they did.
I think they did, but I don't know if the move they made was that big.
I don't recall, but either way, I mean that's another team. They could turn it on whenever they need to turn it on, especially if Giannis is motivated to get them going. So I don't know. That's a team that I expect to be in the mix again. I would see them top 3 by the end of the season.
They did. They traded for Serge Ibaka, but Ibaka's weird, man, because the guy
he's going to be okay because he's going to be okay there because they're not asking him to be the number 1 or number 2.
Sense.
He's the number 4 guy, if anything, right? Because think about it. They got Drew, they got Middleton, and they got Giannis. You know what I mean? And they got a couple of other bench players who shoot the rock really well. You're just asking him to sort of be that floor veteran, who can rebound and block shots, and that's what he does well. So Serge Ibaka is going to be fine. I knew it was someone who was starting. I mean, he was starting, right? Where did he come from? Because I know he moved around a little bit. Do you know where he came from?
Most recently?
Yeah.
Serge. Man, I could picture him. Was it Orlando or the Clippers? Might have been the Clippers.
No, I don't think it was either of those teams. No? Serge. I can't remember. He's gonna do enough for them to to win games.
It was the Clippers. It was the
Clippers. Oh yeah, it was the Clippers. Yeah. So I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna be just fine.
And Funky Goose World says in the chat that the Bucks just signed DeAndre Bembry from the Nets, which I just saw that too. Good.
And he was a bench player, right?
He was for them, yeah.
Like he didn't really get that many minutes, did he?
Who's Bembry similar to? Wow. Now I can't think of the guy's name with the B. Another B guy. Yeah, forget it. It'll come to me. Yeah. I'm having a senior moment right now.
But either way, I mean they're signing some bigs because I'm guessing they're expecting Brook to be out the entire season. I don't think that he's healing properly. I think he may have come out of surgery, to be honest. But
oh, that's interesting.
But they're going to be right there. They're going to be top 3 by the end of the season. If not 3, top 4.
And then lastly, but not least, once again, the Cleveland Cavaliers in the 3rd spot in the Central. A 35-23 record. They are 6-4 in their last 10, and they've lost their last 2 games. I don't quite understand why they lost those last 2 games. The betting man in me was not happy with some of the things that took place, but it is what it is, But yeah, man. But they're still overall they're still playing, good basketball. They're over 600 in the win category.
This is just
one of them times.
This is the team
Yeah.
that shocked me for sure. I didn't expect to see this from them at all. Not from last year. From last year, this is like peak. These are, these are huge steps for that team, for that organization. Because to be honest, I don't think they really knew what they had in Garland. Um, they had high hopes for, and high praise for, the young man they brought in. Why am I forgetting his name? The rookie,
Oh, shoot. Mobley, Evan.
Evan. Right. They had high hopes for Evan. He was a top, pick. So they expected him to come out and be ready. And he's shown that he is. He's already an NBA caliber player. He shows instance of potential All Star. You know, could get there. Very soon. But Garland stepped it up. I mean, he shifted it. He shifted the culture. Right now, look, LeBron picked him for his team. You know what I mean? LeBron is giving him high praise. You know what I mean,
Right.
and allowed him to sort of hold the king torch of Cleveland right now. I would say Garland has showed improved, man.
No, I agree with you on that. That's very, very true. Garland's definitely stepped up. He's got a good overall game, man. And Funky Goose World also said I was talking about a comparison for DeAndre Bembry. He said someone like a Robert Covington
That makes
is a
sense.
good comparison. That makes sense. Yeah, I'm with that. And David L says Ibaka can hit threes, which is another reason why I'm sure Milwaukee wanted to bring him in. He's another big
Who can
guy who can
stretch?
stretch the floor. Yeah, they
Plus,
love
you're
that
not
over there.
you can't rely on this guy. Geez, I'm having a lot of senior
The
moments today.
the ex Nick.
The ex Nick, can't rely on him. So I just
Yeah. Yeah, no, I hear you. No, that's it's true. I mean, yeah, it makes sense that they made that move, though. I'm with you. Oh, you know what? Let's answer this now. Okay, I'm gonna answer it now, guys. Annie David said, amongst other multiple other people, where is Sim? We haven't seen him the last two games. Did he get tired of sorry blah blah Knicks? I don't blame him. Well, guys, I know a lot of you've been asking where Sim is. Sim has just been busy doing real life work. He's got a real life job and he does other stuff, and so he's kind of been busy doing some of that other stuff, and because of that, he just hasn't been able to do post games and stuff like that. But he will be back very shortly. So as soon as you said where is him, don't worry, you're gonna see Sim any minute. Could be right now, no, but you're gonna see him right away. He's coming right back. He's just been busy, like I said, doing real life work stuff. So
Hey, it happens to the best of us, right? Where we all get
right.
caught up in stuff. So we have to deal with our responsibilities first and foremost. And then, Knicks talk is great, but, that's also kind of what they call that. I wouldn't say leisure, but just like just enjoyment. You know what I mean? And just,
Right. And also for those who are like, yo, Sim's probably embarrassed of the team. He doesn't want to even talk. Let me tell you something.
he's
Sim
been through it all.
is a Nick fan who's seen it all. This is nothing. What we're seeing right now it's beyond belief and it's embarrassing. But believe me, I know John. We've
Yeah.
all seen worse. If you've
It
been
doesn't
around
come
for a
close
little
to the
bit,
Fizz. It doesn't come close to what
you've seen
Fizz did
worse.
to us at all. You know what I mean? It doesn't come close to the Fizz seasons. Doesn't come close to the Phil Jackson seasons.
I mean, the
Um,
Cleanthony early days were rough, man. Let me tell you, they were
yeah,
rough.
yeah.
Rough. Okay. All right. Well, anyway, guys, so that's pretty much what's going on in the Eastern Conference. Um, it's kind of status quo right now. These teams are still doing what they do. For the most part, there hasn't been much shifts. Just going into the All-Star break, and just for you West Coast fans, I'll just go over the top teams in the top three in each. Top one for each of the three divisions in the West. Utah Jazz are at the top of the Northwest Division at 36-22. They're 6-4 in their last 10. The Phoenix Suns are 48-10, best record in the NBA still, and they're 9-1 in their last 10. They've won 7 in a row. Man, they're always hot.
Chris Paul is now taking over, which is interesting because Booker was holding him down for a while, and now he sort of, took a step back, allowed Chris Paul to do his thing, and Chris Paul showing signs of, of a young Chris Paul. It's weird, right? He's like,
it's crazy. This guy is like one of the older people, one of the oldest players in the NBA. One of them, you know what I mean? Not the oldest, but one of them. And he's still playing like circles around some of these young cats. It's crazy. Yeah. It's crazy. Yeah. And I have to mention the Golden State Warriors because they're just that good. They're at in second in the Pacific Division at 42-17. They've won 6 out of their last 4. 6 out of their last 10. So 6-4 in the last 10. And they've been the same thing, like what I just mentioned with these other top teams, a little bit up and down. Certain things, they've lost some games where we thought they would. They lost to the Knicks. I mean, so you know what I mean. So come on.
That's right. They lost to the Knicks. That's right.
yeah, right. And then on the Southeast Division, you got the Memphis Grizzlies at the top with the 41-19 record. They've gone 8-2 in their last 10. Memphis is, they're at least for this year, they're a real team and they're in the elite conversation for this year. I don't know about next year because I'm starting to say, like, I got to look at these teams in 2-year intervals because one year you think a team is really good and next year they're not. So we'll see.
Weird.
But this year they're good. Anyway, bro, I think it's time for us to, before we jump into our all-star stuff, we should probably just jump into the Biz Marquee Player of the Week. What do you think?
All right, let's do it.
I mean, if you're with it, I'm with it, brother. Yes, sir. That's Mr. Luka Doncic. And, I just want to say, guys, I mean, I know you guys are watching. Some of you are big NBA fans. You watch a lot of basketball. Maybe you got the NBA package and all this stuff. There's been a lot of players that have had a really good week. There's guys have been lighting it up, and we're going to talk about another one in the back page later. But, you got a bunch of guys that have been playing good. Joel Embiid has been playing good. DeMar DeRozan, I mean, we just talked about how hot he is. He's probably been the hottest of all of these guys for 10 games, averaging 36 points. But we've already covered DeMar in the past, so we wanted to do something a little different and recognize someone else, and Luka has been playing really good with, I think, a cast of characters that's probably not as good as what, Chicago has. Or even like what Boston has, for example. I think Luka has been pretty impressive. He's had games of 45 points. He scored 51 points. He's gotten them to win some really tough games. They beat Miami. Was it last night or? I think it was last night or 2 nights ago. Either way, they've been playing pretty good behind him. So definitely want to give him some credit. And you know what? Why don't we kind of take a look at what he's been doing? You know what I mean? Give this guy some props, brothers. Let's see here. Look at Luka. Oh, I got my slow cross. I got my big butt. Oh, boom! Pause.
Step back. Hit him with the step
look
back.
There's that smile. There's the Kemba Walker smile.
Look at him.
But without the results. Oh man, look at. Yeah, I wish Kemba was Luka. Oh man, it's the Dallas Knicks, folks. Look, just toying with these dudes. What? Oh, watch yourself.
Nice teardrop.
Yeah, it's nice play. Nice play. What else we got here? A little size up action, a little step back. Bang. Hey man, listen. That's a little Luka highlight package just to show you. You ain't gonna see Luka going up there and dunking and doing all that types of stuff. That's not his bag. You know what I mean?
That's not his bag. But we would usually say run it back, right? At this moment in time. Do we really want to do that?
All right, whatever.
Yeah,
Let's keep
run
it
it back.
going. Let's go, Luka. Let's see that again. Oh, he's like
Oh,
a
so
slow.
flashy. So
Yeah,
flashy.
he's so slow and methodical, but he's effective.
He is effective. I mean, he's what, 6'6", something like that, maybe even taller than that.
Yeah, I think he's 6'8". I could be
6'8".
wrong.
Yeah, you're
I think he's
probably right.
6'8".
I think I undercut him. But yeah, he's 6'8", he's gonna jump out
I
the gym.
I
Nothing
like the
really
fact that
flashy, but he knows how to generate space.
yeah, man. It's a shame that he put on this extra weight. Like this is his body type. It is what it is. This is life. But it's a shame that he couldn't have kept some of this weight off a little longer. Because that way he can be even, continue to be explosive.
Right.
Because when he came into the league, Luka was doing some really interesting things, like a little
Mhm.
surprising things. I
Right.
mean, I think they called him some version of the Mamba back where he like White Mamba or something.
Yeah,
They
no,
did. I'm serious. They did.
there's no comparison. But I would say that he does have a high IQ and very high skill level because he could do a bit of everything, and he can get other players involved. I think the problem right now is that the Mavericks are sort of in between figuring out their identity right now. I know they moved away from KP, so now they're just trying to figure it all out again because they know they're not going to win a championship. So you might as well blow it up and see what you can get.
Right. No, I hear you on that. That's probably very true. Um, you know, the thing that I find is very interesting is because like there's been a little bit of a down couple years with regards to NBA All-Star break. And I think last year it started to come back a little bit. And I think this year it's been a little bit more ramped up. So people are getting a little bit more excited about it. And it's good to see because when the All-Star break is going, like I think it breathes some life into the season. Definitely some life into these NBA players because they get a break
Yeah,
finally. So yeah, man, let's talk about that a little bit.
sure, let's do it.
So I mean, you guys already know. I don't think we need to go back into like the actual NBA All Star game. We kind of touched on it. Last episode, John, really went through a lot of the guys, the starters, the bench players, and should I say the reserves,
Right.
and we even talked about who
And
got left
snubs.
off. And the
Right.
snubs who got cut. So this time, I think we should focus a little bit on the other All Star events, like for example, the Skills Challenge.
Hmm.
That's right, folks. We're talking about the NBA Skills Challenge. To catch that, you'll be able to see it this Saturday, February 19th at 8 p.m. on
Right.
TNT. Guess who won't be able to watch it? I'm not going to tell you who, but this guy. Sorry. Because I don't have TNT. Listen, I
Right.
know it's bad, guys. I know. Don't blame me. Look, it's FUBU for me. Anyway, so
It's all good, Ron. We
participants.
know what I'm gonna do, Ron. I'm gonna send you my link to my what they call this. I don't know what they call it anymore. Spectrum is what they call it now.
Yeah. Oh man,
I'll
my
send, I'll
brother.
send, I'm gonna send you my link so you could watch.
So the participants in this year's skills challenge are so you got team Antetokounmpo, right?
Hmm.
So this is Giannis Antetokounmpo, Thanasis Antetokounmpo, Alex Antetokounmpo.
He's
Oh
got the
boy,
whole
the whole
brotherly love,
Antetokounmpo clan is there, boy.
the
And then you got
brotherly love right there.
right, and then you got Team Cavs, which is Jarrett Allen, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley, versus Team Rooks, Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Josh
Josh
Giddey.
Giddey.
So let me ask you, bro. I
Mhm.
didn't see. I don't know. Did you see the skills competition last year?
I saw bits and pieces of it. Last year was a tough year for me. You know, I had little ones, had the twins,
Right.
so
Because I don't remember. I didn't see the skills. I saw the dunk. I saw the 3-point. I don't remember how their setup was. Did they do this last year? If anybody in the chat, if you guys remember, because I don't know if this is new. I don't remember them ever doing it in this way. I mean, I could be wrong.
last year's All Star game, whole weekend was a buzz for me. So I can't. Don't look at me to tell you anything about last year's All Star because I was not available. But
Well,
we'll see.
if
The
you
chat
had
would jump up.
Yeah,
jump in and let us know.
maybe they know. If you had to pick a winner from those three teams, Team Cavs, Team Antetokounmpo, and Team Rooks, who do you think will win the skills competition?
Who's on those again? Let me look at that. I
So
know Tatiana's brothers. I'm not even including them in the skills challenge. I don't think they have what it takes. Um,
so Team
so
Cavs has Jared Allen, Darius Garland, and Evan Mobley. Team Rooks has Scotty Barnes, Cade Cunningham, and Josh Giddey. And then you obviously know the
I'm gonna go
Antetokounmpos.
with Team Brooks. I'm gonna go with Team Brooks here because I think the only Jared Allen doesn't seem to be a real heavy skills guy. Evan would probably be, and Garland. I think Garland would be the tough player to beat in this skills challenge. But Scotty Barnes and Kate Cunningham and Josh Giddey all got handles, so I'm gonna go with them.
You know what? I think you're right, dude. They seem set up to win that. I
Yeah.
like the matchup seems a little lopsided for
If
Team
they were
Rooks.
playing a 3-on-3, then I would say it's different.
Yeah, that's a
This
little
is a
different.
skills
Yeah,
challenge.
because Team Rooks ain't gonna get no boards, Bree.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah,
Who do
I'm
you
going with Team
guys think?
Brooks.
In the chat, who do you guys think will win that skills challenge between the Team Antetokounmpo, Team Cavs, and Team Rooks? I'm interested to know what you guys think.
Yeah, I'm seeing some Team Brooks right now popping in.
Yeah.
And they're saying this is a new thing, so
Oh, it is?
yeah,
Okay. All right.
Funky Goose World just put it out there. Shout out to you, Funky Goose World. Thanks for chiming in, but he's saying it's a
Yeah.
new thing.
You're a man with the name and a man with the facts. I appreciate you, bro.
Word.
Yeah. So let us know what you guys think in the chat. I'll come back and take a look, see what the prevailing nod is, like what you guys are leaning towards. But let's talk about the 3-point competition. So the 3-point contest is this Saturday. It's going to be at 8 p.m. So a little ahead of the skills, and of course that's going to be on TNT as well. The participants for this is Mr. Fred Van Vliet. You got Desmond Bain, Luke Kennard, Zach LaVine, CJ McCollum, Patty Mills, Carl Anthony Towns, and Rayford Trey Young.
Right.
Yeah, can't forget the Rayford. That's his government name. It's on his birth certificate. Got to recognize it.
Gotta recognize it.
All right. Well, so out of this mix of guys, John, who do you think is going to win the 3-point competition, bro?
I'm going with Rayford. If I'm putting my bet in, I'm betting on Rayford. Rayford Trey Young gets my vote because I think his strongest competition may be someone in there that we don't expect to be there. Maybe a CJ McCollum or even, a Levine, maybe get a hot streak. I don't see Bain in there. I could see Van Fleet in there if he gets hot, but this is probably Van Fleet's first time doing it. So, you have to have had a little bit of experience doing it in order for you to understand what it's like to shoot that many threes. You get what I'm saying? So, and Rayford shoots threes all day. So that's what he does. It comes natural to him. You know what I mean? It almost seems like that's what he practices. So I'm going with that. I'm going with Rayford.
This is interesting. And I would say he's probably, if I had to pick a favorite, he'd probably be the favorite. But you know, my dark horse is going to be CJ McCollum. I don't know why.
That's a good dark horse.
I feel good about CJ McCollum. So we'll see.
Yeah.
But I agree. I think Rayford has probably the best shot of winning that one because Desmond Bain, I just don't know. He's a big dude, pause, but his arms, with the repetition of having to shoot the shots in the same way, like I don't know how that works for him.
He has a slow delivery too, which is weird why he's even in there.
Yeah, well, Carl Anthony Towns is in there too, folks, and that's going to be interesting.
But that's what I was talking about. Who were you talking about?
Oh no, Desmond Bain.
Oh, Bain. Yeah, Bain shoots it from the side though.
Yeah, but plus he's like this, man. Like, how's he gonna be?
He's got those alligator arms.
Yeah, so that should be interesting. Interesting. In the chat. Yeah, there's some love for Patty Mills. People saying Rayford. Yeah. Someone
Mhm.
Vaughn Allen said Levine. Okay.
Right.
Levine is actually a sneaky one because you never know. He's usually so focused on the dunk competition, and you can see that he's doing this for a reason.
Yeah, he wants to be the first to win both.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
he's putting up some shots, but I don't think if he gets past the first round, second round, that third round is tough because you done shot damn near 100 plus shots already. So you start to get a little tired. Your lift isn't the same, and with Levine, he's sort of a lift jump. He has to get off the floor to shoot his jump shot. You know what I mean? So I like the pick T Jack has, Trey or Patty. Patty could be a
Mm-hmm.
sneaky one.
Patty could be a
However,
sneaky one. Yeah.
so
And Vaughn Allen said, CJ historically has been bad in this competition, which is true. But I believe that was the Portland air, which was messing him up. See, now he ain't got to worry about that Portland air. He good, man. Yeah. Okay. All right. So this should be interesting. And then lastly is the NBA All-Star game. But before that, we've got the dunk competition. And that's
Mhm.
also Saturday, 8 p.m.
Right.
It's the third event. It's on TNT. You got it. And the participants are Obi Toppin, Jalen Green, Cole Anthony, and Juan Toscano Anderson. So this one is interesting because I think I know who's going to win it. I'm wondering who you think is going to win it.
And that question is to me, right, sir?
Yes, sir. I'm wondering who
You
you
know where
think is going to
I'm
win it.
going. You know where I'm going.
Oh, here we go.
It's gotta go to Jalen Green. Come on, man. Like
I'm thinking Jalen's
Obi,
going to get busy
Obi.
out there.
Listen, Obi tried last year, right? He tried. It was last year. Yeah, he tried last year. It wasn't that great. That was something I did catch. I did catch the slam dunk contest last year, and he sort of uh I don't know. I don't want to say he stunk it up, but it just at his height, you have to be a little bit. You have to give a little bit something more, give a little bit more air. He had a couple of nice dunks, but this is definitely going to Jalen Green. I don't see any unless someone surprises. You know what I mean? I don't see Cole Anthony surprising like that, but you never know. You never know.
With a name like Juan Toscano, I'm
You never
telling you, you
know.
never count him out. You know,
Can't
you don't
can't count
count him
him
out.
out. He may have gotten in there for a reason. I don't know much about
Mm-hmm.
him. I may have to do a YouTube check, but I don't know. I don't know much about Juan Toscano. So maybe he
Yeah,
does have what it takes to take this one. But all signs for me point to Jalen Green.
I hear you. I mean, you might listen. I agree with you. I think that's who's going to win it too. I mean, he's my pick, but anything can happen, and stranger things, right, bro?
Yeah, I mean, what was the one that surprised me back in the day? Was it Jason? Was it Richardson? Kind of
Oh,
came
but
out of nowhere.
Jason Richardson is a dunker though.
No, but like he was up against someone. He was up against Josh Smith, wasn't
Oh,
he? And I think
oh,
Josh
yeah. I
Smith
think he
was
was up
supposed to
against
be
Josh Smith.
the one who was gonna like double back and like win 2 in a row or 3 in a row, and then Jason Richardson took him out. You know what I mean? So that was the surprising one for me. Like every now and then you'll get a surprising one. You'll be like, oh, I didn't know about this kid. Like even last year's winner, I didn't know much about him, and
Mm-hmm.
he had some really nice dunks as well. And what was his
Fred
name?
Jones.
Was it Fred Jones? Yeah. Fred Jones was unexpected back in
But
the day.
he's
Yeah.
a leaper though. We just didn't, we don't know too much about him.
Right.
But yeah, I'm with you on that. Well, I mean, guys, that's pretty much what you can expect from All-Star Weekend. Outside of the actual NBA All-Star Game, that's the list of your festivities. That's what you got on the docket.
Right.
And it should be pretty good. It should be pretty fun to watch. I'm just looking forward to a break from where this season has been going, honestly. So bring it on. That's all I got.
I'm with you there.
You know what? But being that we're talking about the NBA All Stars, these players that have played well all year, deservingly so, they've been invited to the All Star game. we would be remiss if we didn't talk about our NBA legends. You know what I mean? Because those guys are the ones that these players today emulate, and those are the ones that we are like they're the gold standard for what we see these days.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we could use a little, this player that we're about to talk about. We could use a little of that, huh, John?
There's a reason why we chose him. I'm just gonna say there's a reason why we chose him. There's a reason why I came on with a Knicks cap today. This is the NBA report, but I needed something to feel good about. I'm sure you did as well. I'm sure our Knicks fans need this as well. But yeah, let's highlight one of our own today.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. Let's check this guy out.
That is right. That's the captain.
Yeah, that is him. That is Mr. Willis Reed. Mr. Hop Along, Mr. Limp out the game, come back in the game limping and putting up them numbers. You know what I mean? Let's take a look at what Willis was all about.
Yeah, I mean, not to say much about his limping days, but hey, look at this young strapping young stud right here in front of us.
Facts.
And he started with the New York Knicks at an early age, right? So for a decade, Willis Reed brought physicality and force to Madison Square Garden floor, and was a key cog on the New York Knicks championship teams of the 1970s. Reed averaged double figure scoring in each of his 10 seasons and at least 11.6 rebounds per game in 7 of them. The 1969-70 campaign was Reed's pinnacle season. He was named NBA MVP, led the Knicks to their first NBA title, all while averaging a career-high 21.7 points per game and 13.9 rebounds per game. In addition, that season marked Reed becoming the first player to win regular season MVP, Finals MVP, and All-Star Game MVP all in the same season. He was also named to the All-NBA and All-Defensive first teams. And that is our guy, Willis Reed, the captain.
That's right. Got to give it up for Mr. Willis Reed, man. Once a Knick, always a Knick. Salute to you, brother. We need Willis. You got a kid. You got a cousin, a younger brother. Like, come on, man. We need something.
Anyone within your lineage, we got to send them our way.
Yo, listen.
Well, let's see.
Whatever we got to do.
I think we have a little highlight of him. We have a highlight package of him, right? If we have something, let's show that. Let's show that if we have it. Do we have it?
Let me see. I don't know. Do we have it? Oh man, I don't see it. Maybe we don't have it, guys. Maybe we don't have it. I thought we might, but wait, hold on. Maybe we have something we can find here. There we go. All right. Got to do this. Sorry, little technical difficulties here. You got to do the old way. Sorry, guys. Give me a second. Okay, I got you. Going now. We good. Oh no, that ain't gonna work. No.
All
sorry.
Right, it's all good, man.
I'm sorry, guys. It ain't gonna work. Apologize.
Oh man, looks like our season.
Yeah, wah.
Well, it ain't gonna work this year. It's all good, man. Willis Reed, man, he's our guy, man. Salute to him. Yeah, man, that's what it is. We got to go into this All-Star season feeling high about our New York Knicks. I'll tell you one thing though, regardless of how everyone felt yesterday against the Brooklyn Nets, they still don't own the city. Regardless, it doesn't matter. Say what you want, they still aren't going to run the city. Knicks will forever run this city. So all of you Brooklyn fans, get used to it. You're just going to be second fiddle, regardless of whether or not you guys win a championship or not. It's just a reality.
John coming with the venom. He said, listen, I don't care how bad we playing right now. Don't get it twisted. You hear that, Kevin Durant? Don't get it twisted, Mr. Bandwagon Jumper. Mr. I can't do it by myself. I got to jump on another team, another NBA player, star player squad.
Go get him.
I can't do it by myself. I got to get James Harden out of here, but no, I got to bring in Ben Simmons. This guy, I don't know. Whatever, man. He is what he is. He's a very good player, but I don't love him as a person. I said that many times, in case you guys don't know.
Right. And I'm gonna utilize what Funky Goose will say. They will always be known as the New Jersey Nets. That's a fact. The only championships they won were in Jersey and in the ABA. No, actually, they didn't even win a championship in the ABA. I'm mistaking them for the 76ers. So I don't even think they won a championship. I think that all they got was to this, with Jason Kidd to the conference finals. They got to the finals once, I think.
That's probably true.
To the Lakers.
Yeah, that is probably true. Well, it is what it is, guys. Let's not think too much about the heartache and the heartbreak. We're gonna talk a little bit about it as we wrap up the show, because it's time for our NBA back page. And I would say that before we get into a little bit more of the Knicks, just kind of rounding out what we've seen from how they've been playing and what we expect going forward after this All-Star break, I think we should touch on another team that's been really hot, been playing really good basketball, and that is the Boston Celtics. So, as I mentioned, the Boston Celtics have gone 9-1 in their last 10 games, and, that is due to the great play of their young, talented star, Mr. Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum has been playing so well, man, so well. In fact, that, it's almost like something clicked all of a sudden, because Jaylen Brown was starting to get all of the praise earlier in the season. For whatever reason, Jason Tatum, he just started off slow, and Jaylen Brown started off hot. But now it looks like it's kind of starting to go back to what we're used to. Like, we all kind of thought it was Tatum's team. Like, Jaylen Brown came and started doing his thing after Tatum,
right.
But
it's interesting though, because Tatum's play over this last stretch could have actually gotten him into the Player of the Week as well. We chose Doncic, but it could have easily have been Jason Tatum as well.
It's true. It could have easily have been Jason Tatum. He's been that damn good. So I'm with you on that, bro. Why don't we take a quick look at what he's been doing? Little highlight package. Oh, okay. What's this? Little. Okay, nice little pass, cutting to the basket, a little easy, nothing too crazy. Oh, we're getting a rebound. We're pushing.
As we see, this is against Atlanta Hawks, who don't really play defense. Bully ball.
Oh, look at this miss. Bang.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, get the rebound. Oh, watch yourself. Oh,
misdirection.
You see that? Let's look at this again.
Misdirection.
Man. Let's see this one more.
Was that Gallo? Yeah, that was Gallo. Yeah, it's Gallo. Slow foot.
Was
it Gallo? That was
Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich.
No,
right,
that's Bogdanovich. Oh, watch yourself. Ew. Man.
Yikes. You know what? That right there deserves a replay. I wish I could have to run that one back.
Yeah, we might have to go back to that. Look at that. Okay.
Too strong.
I feel like he's got another move in here that I really like. A nice little, three, bang. Okay, very nice, very nice.
See, that's the one thing with Jason Tatum, man. When he gets going, his game is so smooth. Like, you know what I mean?
Ew. Sorry, I had it. That was the play. That's the one I like.
Nice
I like that one.
That's a nice one. His game is so smooth, you know what I mean? And it almost looks like he's not even trying,
Yeah, man.
And at that size, we're gonna have to run that one back. Let's run it back.
Let's take another look at it. Sorry, guys. We just gotta take another quick look at this real quick, because you know what? We gotta appreciate our players, man. These are young guys that are taking their game to the next level. You got to appreciate that, because you know what? They ain't going to be here forever.
Right.
Remember, Michael Jordan was a young guy. Now he's gone.
That's true.
Now he's
Right.
in the skybox.
Right. Yeah, man.
Yeah,
He'll
man.
end if he ends his career with the Boston Celtics, man, he'll have a really solid career, you know, and definitely will have be up there in numbers when it comes to scoring and rebounding numbers for sure.
Yeah, that's a really nice play. All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah, man.
Well, I figured, that we'll pay a little love, little homage to the Boston Celtics and Mr. Jason Tatum, because it's not easy to run off 9 games in a row in the NBA.
Right.
And when you can do it, you gotta recognize it, especially when it comes from a team that has struggled so bad. It's not like Phoenix, who just runs them off with no problem, but they've been doing good all year. But Boston was struggling, so it's nice to see
Right.
them do that. And hopefully, I wish some of that would spill off into my New York Knicks. Speaking of the New York Knicks, now, guys, I know that if some of you have watched us on Still Knicks Fans, you know that on our Monday or Tuesday weekly show, it was Tuesday this week, we talked a little bit about the tank. And is it time for the Knicks to participate in the tank? Well, I'll tell you this. I don't know if they should participate in the tank or not. I have my own feelings about it. Who knows what's right or what's wrong? But I will say one thing. This team is not good. They've got some talented players on the team. They're not not devoid of talent. There is some talent here. It's not enough talent here. I'll say that. And we're a little lost on what we're gonna do as an organization. I don't know which way we're moving. We're like win now, but we're not winning anything. So
Right.
I don't know what we're doing. I definitely want to see the young kids, and I want to see more of Quentin Grimes. And let's free Deuce. Okay, Deuce needs to be loose. What you got? What do you think, John?
I this is a Coach Tibbs team right now, right? So it's being coached by him. So his motto is win now. So he's going to continue to play who he feels gives him the best chance of winning, even if it doesn't. And that's what he's going to do. So I don't expect, many changes unless the front office is coming down and saying, hey, we don't have a mathematical chance of getting in, or we are choosing as an organization not to focus our energy in the play in, and it's time to play some of our young players. Until that happens, I see it continue to be the same situation. And I want to speak to this because I think someone said on the chat, and I'll go up a bit. They were asking about Rose coming back. Was it Ally Wise who was asking? Possibly.
It might have been someone else, I think.
Oh no, yeah, it was Ally Wise. He said at Ron and Jon, do y'all think Rose can make an impact this season or just sit him? We all know once once Rose gets back and he is given a clean bill of health to start playing, Tibbs is going to play him. He will continue to come off the bench under Tibbs, and I think Kemba will still be starting under Tibbs. Do I think that's the right decision? Absolutely not. But that's what's going to happen, okay? And we're just going to have to ride with what goes on the court. Will he give us? Will he be an impact? It all depends on how he heals. Rose has done it at every level, right? And he's shown to have that testosterone fortitude to come back from injury and also come back, and give a spark or play enough good basketball to help teams catch a spark. Will that be the case for this Knicks team? I can't say yes or no to that. I don't know. If I was coaching the team, I would prefer to keep him coming off the bench because I like what he brings off the bench. And also, I wouldn't play him that many minutes. I would try to keep him at a 20-minute mark, if not 15, to start off when he gets back. He is an impactful player. That's who he is. But again, it doesn't matter because what matters is, whether or not we're going to, play good enough to get past our first round if we make a play in. If we don't make a plan, then I prefer not to. I would prefer to sort of play the young kids and see what we got. You know what I mean? Play some of the vets coming off the bench. And if we win games, we win games. If we lose, then so be it. That's what happens. And, hopefully we'll get a good lottery pick. But that's just me if I was running the team. I'm not running the team, so I expect Tibbs to continually play the same guys that he's been playing. I would be surprised if we see Emmanuel quickly sort of pulled from the rotation for Rose, because in my perception of Tibbs, I think he's going to stick with what he did last year, and he's going to sit Cam. That's what I think is going to happen. I think he's going to end up sitting Cam, and Cam isn't going to get the minutes that he's getting now, because right now he's getting them because Rose isn't there. If it was my team, I would play Cam over quickly at this point, especially if Rose is coming back. But that's where I'm at with it. I know what Tibbs brings, and he's shown it to us. We'll be fools to believe otherwise. He's going to play who he's comfortable playing, and it's going to stay consistent. He made the move for Kemba. That was, to me, probably a little bit of force between the analytic office. The analytic office usually jumps in and will say, hey, this is what we're seeing. This is the trend. We have to make a move there. So maybe that push came from the analytics office versus it coming from Tibbs, because it didn't seem like Tibbs could care less whether or not Kemba was in the starting five or not. He probably felt like, it didn't make a difference either way. I don't think Tibbs is a big analytics guy. I think he plays his vets. He plays who he feels understands his scheme of basketball. Whether or not they play it effectively or not, he doesn't have a regard for that. Like, that's not something that comes to mind for him. So
right. Yeah, no, I agree with you, bro. The last thing I want to see is for this Knicks team to show us that they've been struggling all year, to lose the type of games they've been losing lately, and continue to lose, somehow back themselves into a play-in, and even, who knows, necessarily they win the play-in game and get into a playoff series, get bumped in the playoff series because they're not good enough to really beat anybody in consistent games. So I don't know. They're not ready to be honest for me. And then you take yourself out of a chance to get a lottery pick when this team clearly needs lottery type players. We need something. We're not getting free agents. We can't pull off solid trades. So the lottery is our friend, guys. I know some people hate that because they don't want to build necessarily with too many young players. Like, how many young players do you really want to have on the team? Well, maybe you need as many young players you can get until you hit one. That's a really good one. So you gotta
find a gem sometime, right? You gotta find a gem sometime. It's a diamond in the rough.
It is what it is.
Trying to find one. Yeah, man. And that's why I say my biggest fear is not going up against Atlanta, but being so close to Atlanta that we still have a shot at the play-in. Because you give a shot for Tibbs, and he's going to do everything it possibly can do to win games. As far as strategically trying to win games, I'm not saying about his roster, because there's no way will I ever see him go back to sitting Kemba. I really don't see that again. Just, unless they're just going to outright drop him. If they drop him, then obviously you give him no choice but to play who he has. But if he's still on his team, I don't see him sitting him again. It was just too much, bad noise, and he ain't trying to go that route. He's trying to be respectful to the veteran that Kemba is, and he's going to ride with him throughout he may not play him as many minutes, but he's going to ride with him. The minutes those minutes are going to end up going to Rose if he gets back, and then quickly. So and Burks, of course, as you've seen, Burks played a lot of one this year. So yeah, man, that's a big fear, bro. Like, don't be too close, and then you're stuck at the play-in and one and out.
Adjay said in the chat. Now, I don't know if you're a Knicks fan or not, Adjay, but it sounds like from the way I'm reading this, you're not a Knicks fan. He says, please stop with this if we make the play-in madness. Stop BSing your viewers. Whether you're a Knicks fan or not, I don't know how old you are. I don't know if you're that old, Because if you are that old, then you would know what John and I are saying because you've seen it. When we say stuff like this, is because we've seen it. I've already seen the Knicks be quote unquote one of the worst teams in basketball on a couple
Right.
different years, right? Successive years, by the way. And I already saw how mathematically eliminated we were. I already saw how mathematically we are going to wind up with this possible pick if the season were to end today and
Right.
go on from that point. It could be like 6 games left or 8 games left. And in those 8 games, the Knicks decide to win 6 of the last 8, and
Which makes
they've
no sense.
screwed up their chances to get a pick in the top 5, and it wound up getting a pick that could fall 7, 8, or worse. That has happened to the Knicks on multiple occasions. So don't tell me that it can't happen, that the Knicks somehow find a way to back into the play-in and then get knocked out in the first round.
Right.
I've seen these type of Knick teams do wild stuff. It's not the same players, but it's just the Knick luck. I've seen it all. So it could definitely happen. That's not what we want to happen.
We're definitely saying we don't want to see that happen.
I don't want to see it. It could happen. That's how the Knicks play. The Knicks have this thing when their back is against the wall, when everybody counts them out, when they got nothing to play for, that's when they want to start winning games and doing things that they don't need to do. But they got pride, I guess. It is what it is. Okay. I don't want to talk about it. It is what it is.
Just think about the way Tibbs coaches, man. He just look at that and you see it for yourself. You know, he's going to want to try to win games. And I think someone said it earlier, maybe we're accidentally tanking because I don't necessarily see us really tanking.
Right. Well, Ajay says he's a diehard Knicks fan all his life. Well, so if you're a diehard Knicks fan all your life,
then
and I'm assuming
you should know.
I'm assuming you've seen prior to us getting RJ, this Knicks team was bad.
Right.
And we were bad to the point where in the last, if you just think about it, I mean, I'm not saying it. You could go back and check something if you could. I mean, Google has everything nowadays. If you look at how the Knicks played down the stretch of 2 consecutive seasons where we had a chance to be in the running for a top pick, and it's big because when you like one of the top 3 worst teams, I think you have so many lottery balls, right? And then just going from 3 to 4 or something like that, or 4 to 5, something like that, it changes. You get like so many less, so many less amount of ball. I don't even know how to say it. Pause. It's too much pause going on. You guys know what I'm trying to say. Don't make me get it out. I said enough. Okay.
Right.
You get it. You get a certain number of lottery balls that roll around the thing. And then as your team has a better record, the amount of those lottery things is less. You know what I'm getting at. All right. So that's my point. All right. Okay, I'm done.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and at the end of the day, I mean, if you've been a fan of the Knicks for 30 plus years, like myself and Ron has been, we've seen it all. We've been through the highs of the New York Knicks with the Patrick Ewing era, and also during the Allen Houston plays with Spreewell and the 4-point play, and we've seen that entire era. We weren't old enough to see the winning years when we won championships, but we came directly after that. So we've been Knicks fans for a very long time. So we've seen it all. And if you haven't seen it all, you may have been a Knick all your life, but if you haven't seen it all and you've only been a fan for, let's say, 10 years or maybe 20 years, maybe you need to look up our history a little bit closer, because that's basically what happens a lot of our seasons.
Bad stuff. And thank you to Tyronn Lue for messing with the chat. As soon as I saw this, I knew you was trolling. Calm down, B.
Got excited.
That's wishful thinking right there. Yeah.
But you never know. It could happen.
It could happen. I don't know, man. Anyway, all right, guys. Well, before we get up out of here, I just want to, it's that time of the show where I want to try to give you guys a little love. John, if you see anybody, you can call them out. I see Gennedy's in the chat. Funky Goose World, P. Ramos.
Geraldine McIver, David L., Rayhan Muhammad, the 77, Alawaz. Who else we got there?
Dale Sinclair's in the chat. Who'd you see?
RW May 4th.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at this guy. Jose Astorga in the building. Okay.
Nice.
Ty the Don is in the building. Ronaldo Maldonado's in the building. What's going on? Dripmore.
Akuma Usamaki is in the building.
Akuma's in the building. Jalbino 59. Bayside Junior's in the building. Jay Boogie's in the building. What's going on? Shout out to the chat. Ron and Jon, no matter what, we are still Knicks fans. Salute.
That's
the
right.
three capital F's. My man, Jay Boogie.
Still Knicks fans for life. We're rolling. We're gonna ride. We're gonna ride even if we lose the entire rest of the season. We're gonna ride. Man.
Facts. What else we gonna do? Sincere the Genius.
East Blue Drew. Annie David.
Bo Ismail. RD Barn is in the building. FR Nick from Queens. Okay. I don't know what that means. I'm a little old. I'm a little slow. I can't break it down. I don't see the code. I mean, that's the code. I don't know if you understand that.
Nah, man. From Nick from Queens.
I'm sorry, man. I'm old. Walter Blackman Jr. is in the building. Gary Provost is in the building. Nice. Let's see. Let me see if I can get through these.
Jalbino 59 is in the building.
Oh, yeah, of course. Oh, look, Karen Fung is in the building. What's going on, Karen?
Salute.
Good to see you.
Did we say Cedric Thomas is in the building?
Cedric, what's going on? Germ Warfare is in the building. Angel Torres, my man Angel. Listen, hold on. Let me see if he wrote anything. Did he? Yes, he did. Angel wrote this the other day, so I knew it was happening. Salute to the chat. Was last night at the game, coming from Puerto Rico to see my Knicks for the first time ever. Couldn't get the W, but did enjoy MSG until the fourth quarter. Angel, when I was watching the game, I felt so bad, dude. That fourth quarter, I was like, yo, Angel's at this game. His first Knicks game at MSG, and they're blowing it. You know what? Actually, that's a Knicks experience. You got the full gambit there, brother.
Listen, it's better than being in a game. I think my first game ever, my dad got tickets to a game, and we got lit up by Nick Van Exel. It was horrific, bro. I mean, we didn't even have a chance at that game. I mean, we were close in the first quarter. Second quarter on, we got washed, and I had to sit there through the entire game. And I'm still rooting as a kid. It was bad, bro.
Kids, they're so young. They don't know what's going on. They just have fun, dude. It's the older people that have to stress out.
Yeah, I was stressed, bro. I was so mad.
Oh man, Deron Wayne, what's going on, brother? Building Roots. I mentioned you earlier, but thank you for being in the chat. It's good to see you. Appreciate
Infamous New King was good.
Infamous, what's going on, bro?
Who else you got there?
Man, I think you went through a lot of the guys. T-Jack is in the building. Vaughn Allen is in the building. Nestia Managuit. I tried my best on that one. Thank you for being in the chat. That's an interesting name. Police Truck, Walk Heart, Food Group, Hacker Mask. Nice. Okay. RW. Yeah, I think you mentioned RW.
I'm gonna go with the easy one. John Infante. What's good?
John Infante. Yeah. What's going on, John Infante? Yeah, I think that's pretty much it, guys. I think we got a lot of Tyronn Lue with his trolling Nick news. Firing Tibbs is in the building. E. Gibson, Aj, appreciate you. Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty much it, guys. And also, I want to highlight one more person because I actually starred his comment, the 77. Because he had asked if we were taking calls. Now, unfortunately, we're not set up to take calls at this time. But you know what? we are part of the Nothing But Knicks network as well. And you know, Sim likes to take calls. So maybe in the future going forward, we'll talk to Sim. Maybe that's something we incorporate. We just got to make it work as far as timing wise. This show today is a lot longer than you're normally going to see us do this show. So that's why we don't always have enough time to do everything. But today we had time. So it is what it is. Maybe going forward, we'll see. But thank you.
We generally try to stay within
Appreciate
an
it.
hour for this NBA
Correct.
report because
Correct.
there's
Correct.
so much content going out. We don't want to keep repeating ourselves over everyone else's content. And this is basically us our weekly sort of NBA report, catching up on what's happening within the NBA and mostly in the Eastern Conference with a sprinkle of the West.
That's right. Correct. Correct. I like that, John. That's
I'm
nice.
learning.
Yeah, I like that. I like that. And plus we wanted to give you guys a little bit more of us tonight because we're actually, you know, little time off next week, little vacation flow. And so
thank the Lord. Woo. Talk about needing it. I needed a break.
Yeah. So, you know, we wanted to be with you guys today at least. So, you know, I thank you guys for tuning in. John, do you have any final words or anything?
I don't. Just mostly stay blessed, man, and be good, man. And I'm with you, John Infante. I will reach out to you directly once they fire Tibbs, so that way you're back to watching our Knicks. But yeah, man, God bless you all. Much respect, and tune in next week.
Yeah, I couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you once again, guys. Appreciate you tuning in and supporting us and supporting the Nothing But Knicks brand and the network. Continue to, if you haven't already, continue to like, comment, and subscribe to Nothing But Knicks. There's a lot of good content over here. You've got the crossover, which is a mix of Tony Crow's Knicks and Bruises and the Queen's Court with Steph combined. And sometimes you see the killer crossover. That's why I call it, when you got Josh from aka Uncle Fulio from The Controversy, Knicks and Bruises, and the Queen's Court all in one show. That's the killer crossover. But outside of that, you also got the Controversy show, you've got Knicks and Bruises, you've got the Queen's Court, you've got all the content that Sim does, pre-games, post-games, shoot-arounds, and other things, special interviews, which you may see a little bit more of that in the future, where he has certain guys. I remember when he had Miles McBride's basketball, high school coach on. So you get to see some of these type of special events that happen as well. And not to mention when Sim puts together actual outings where we all meet up for games that we go to, or we just go to a bar and have that bar for us and the Knick content. We get to chop it up.
Post games,
Super watch dope. Parties, everything. So definitely continue to support and look forward to all of that. And once you've done all that and made sure you are Nothing But Knicks down, do not forget about Still Knicks Fans, because we are here. We in the building. You got me, Ron. You got my man, John. And the third member who's not here with us right now, he's already on his vacation. That's my man, the Don Jose. My man Jose in the building.
Definitely. And they also know he's also known as No Way Jose. I think that may be the mantra.
Jose. Correct.
They're probably keeping that one because everyone enjoys that one more than they do the Don. But
Right. And you know what? This is probably the best time for me to say it, because Jose just put something out there recently. A lot of people have been saying, where's Jose? When are we going to see Jose? Jose never talks. Jose said, okay, right now we are at 569 subscribers. This is what Jose put out there. I didn't say it. John didn't say it. Jose said this, guys. Jose said, on our Knicks show, this was our Still Knicks Fans weekly prediction show that happened on Tuesday. He said, if you guys help us get to 700 subscribers by the end of February, he will come on the show and be the third member, show his face, talk some Knicks. You know what I mean?
We really want to see that happen. I'm just saying.
I definitely want to see that happen.
We've been saying that from the jump. Yo, you got to be on with us. You got to be. He doesn't watch basketball, right? Just a little tip or a little inside on Jose. He's a tech head. He loves tech. He's really heavy into tech, but and gaming, I should say. So watching sports is not his thing. he has just recently learned more and more about the Knicks by being on with us, and and now he's I don't know, he knows some of our weekly plays of the week before we even call him out. You know what I mean? So it'll be great to show him on and show him some love in person. I would love to see him come on. So definitely jump on to Still Knicks Fans. Subscribe. Tell a friend. Go ahead. You do it, Ron. You do it way better than me.
Oh, man.
Come
Listen,
on, man.
that's right. That's right. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell a friend who tells a friend who tells another friend. You know what? Let's see if we can get up to 700 subscribers by the end of February, and you'll get to see Jose live and in person on the Still Knicks Fans show. So that should be pretty cool. I think we can get there. I think you guys can make it happen. We appreciate y'all. Thank you for the love and support. And don't forget, we will be on this Saturday. We may try to do something a little special for All-Star Weekend. Got to see. Stay tuned. So, this Saturday, definitely stay tuned. There might be something we do a little special for our Know the Ledge series. So thank you guys once again for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. Definitely showing a little bit more love in the chat. Adrian, I think it's Adrea. Yeah, Adrian. Appreciate you. Nice to see you. Marvid Eladev and my man Kanal Banlauya is in the building. All right, man. Thank you for tuning in. If you just catching up, and coming in now, watch the replay so you can see what we did. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. We'll catch you on the next one. This has been great. I've had a blast. I can't wait till we get back to doing the next show. But we're gonna take a little time to ourselves, little relaxation. You guys understand. I know you do. All right, y'all. Take care.
Peace.
Run that.